The studio lights of ABC's The View blazed down on the familiar circular table, where the co-hosts, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, Sarah Haynes, and Alyssa Farah Griffin, sat poised with their signature mix of wit and edge, ready for another lively episode on this crisp October morning in 2025. The audience, a vibrant crowd of daytime devotees, buzzed with anticipation as the theme music swelled, announcing the guest of honor, Vin Diesel, the gravel-voiced action star whose Fast and Furious franchise had grossed billions and cemented him as a Hollywood titan. At 58, Diesel looked every bit the part, muscular frame draped in a sleek black leather jacket over a simple white tee, his bald head gleaming under the spots, a warm smile cracking his rugged face as he waved to the cheering crowd. Whoopi kicked things off with her booming laugh, welcoming him with, "Vin, honey, you bring the horsepower to our little hot rod of a show. Sit down and tell us how you've been dodging explosions off-screen." The panel erupted in applause, and Vin settled into the hot seat, his deep baritone rumbling a thank you that echoed like a V8 engine revving to life. Joy, ever the feisty firebrand in her red blouse, leaned forward with a mischievous glint, already priming her barbs. As the small talk flowed, Vin sharing anecdotes about fatherhood with his 3 kids and his latest project, a gritty reboot of an 80s classic. The chemistry crackled, but beneath it simmered the potential for the kind of unscripted fireworks that The View thrived on. Sunny chimed in about the evolution of action heroes, praising Vin's shift toward more vulnerable roles, while Sarah gushed over his charisma, admitting she'd binge-watched his films during lockdown. Alyssa, the conservative voice, nodded along, teasing him gently about his love for family values amid Hollywood's chaos. Back from break, the set pulsed with renewed energy, the co-hosts resetting with practiced poise as Whoopi dove into the next topic, the intersection of blockbuster cinema and social responsibility, using Vin's career as the launchpad. "Vin, your films rake in the cash, but they've been accused of promoting a carpe diem attitude that ignores real-world consequences, like climate change from all that fossil fuel fantasy." Sunny interjected smoothly, her legal mind framing it as a thoughtful probe. Vin nodded thoughtfully, launching into a passionate defense of his environmental efforts off-screen, detailing his investments in electric vehicle startups and partnerships with green energy firms. "Look, I get the irony. I'm the guy who loves horsepower, but I've got kids, a planet to leave them. We're pivoting the franchise towards sustainable stunts, hybrid engines on set," he said, his voice gaining fervor, gesturing broadly as if mapping out a racetrack in the air. The audience clapped appreciatively, Sarah adding, "That's the kind of accountability we need more of in Hollywood." Alyssa agreed, sharing a personal story about her own eco-conscious shifts post-White House. But Joy, undeterred by the positive tide, swirled her mug like a cocktail shaker, her Brooklyn accent cutting through. "Sustainable stunts? Please, Vin. You're flying private jets to premieres while lecturing us on carbon footprints. And don't get me started on the family man image. Rumors swirl about your so-called bro parties that left women feeling like extras in your ego parade." The words landed like gravel in an engine, sputtering the flow. Vin's face darkened, his broad shoulders squaring as he set down his water glass with deliberate calm. "Joy, that's below the belt. Those rumors are tabloid trash from people who wouldn't know a green screen from a crime scene." The third segment dawned with forced joviality, Alyssa tossing a softball about Vin's upcoming family adventure film, a heartwarming detour from his usual adrenaline anthems, hoping to douse the flames. "Tell us about this one, Vin, trading cars for campfires? Sounds like my kind of speed," she said, her smile genuine, eyes pleading for détente. Vin softened momentarily, his paternal pride shining through as he described directing scenes with his daughter in a cameo, the set alive with laughter and life lessons. "It's about legacy, you know? Not just surviving the crash, but teaching the next generation how to steer clear of the wrecks," he shared, his voice warming the room, drawing ahs from the crowd and nods from Sarah, who teared up visibly. Whoopi beamed. "That's the Vin we came for. Big heart under the big muscles." Sunny layered on praise for blending action with activism, citing his anti-bullying campaigns. For a beat, harmony reigned. the audience relaxing into applause. But Joy, like a director yelling "cut" on cue, couldn't resist the reel back. Legacy? Adorable. But let's not romanticize it. Your family films still peddle the alpha male myth that excuses bad behavior. Remember that lawsuit from the stunt coordinator who claimed you created a hostile set? Or the whispers from female co-stars about being sidelined for your vision? Come on, Vin, own it like you own the box office. The accusation hung heavy, Vin's composure cracking like asphalt under tires. He leaned forward, elbows on knees, his baritone dropping an octave. Joy, you're twisting narratives like a bad plot twist. That lawsuit? Settled with apologies on both sides. Lessons learned. And the whispers? Sour grapes from folks who couldn't hack the grind. I've empowered more women in this industry than most, hired female directors, boosted diverse casts. You're the one slinging mud from a glass house, judging lives you don't live. Post-commercial, the atmosphere was a pressure cooker on low boil, Whoopi masterfully redirecting to safer waters. Vin's foray into music, his unexpected covers of classic rock that had fans buzzing. Spill it, Vin. You growling Bohemian Rhapsody? Iconic or what? She prodded, her grin wide as a racetrack. Vin, still seated but radiating heat, forced a chuckle, diving into the passion project with tales of late-night studio sessions, collaborating with indie artists to fuse hip-hop beats with his baritone growl. Music's my therapy, whoop. After a day of flips and fights, it's the unwind that keeps me grounded, he explained, mimicking a mic drop that elicited genuine laughs, the audience thawing with claps. Sarah latched on, sharing her own karaoke disasters. I once butchered, I will survive. You'd slay it, though. Alyssa praised the vulnerability. It's refreshing, big action stars showing softer sides. Sunny nodded, tying it to mental health advocacy. Exactly, destigmatizing emotions in macho spaces. For precious minutes, the segment soared, Vin demoing a snippet of his take on Eye of the Tiger. His voice rumbling deep and soulful, the crowd swaying along. Joy, however, nursed her coffee like a grudge, her silence louder than screams. As applause died, she struck again, casual as a curveball. Therapy through tunes? Goo. But let's talk the elephant in the studio. Your grounded image cracked when those 2022 allegations hit about pressuring a co-star into an uncomfortable scene. Grounded? More like grounded for bad behavior. How do you sleep with that shadow? The question detonated like a grenade in the pit lane. Vin's eyes flashed, his body language shifting from open to armored, arms crossing over his chest like barricades. Joy, that's ancient history. Investigated, cleared, with NDAs protecting everyone. You're dredging mud to muddy waters. I've owned mistakes, made amends. With the clock mercilessly ticking toward wrap-up, the panel circled back to franchise future. Whoopi steering with expert finesse toward Vin's teases for Fast X sequels, infused with global flavors and fresh faces. Give us the scoop, Vin, more international heists? Tokyo Drift 2.0? She asked, her energy infectious, pulling smiles even from the frayed edges. Vin, receded but coiled like a spring, obliged with enthusiasm, painting vivid pictures of rooftop chases in Mumbai, underwater pursuits in the Mediterranean, his hands animating the air with explosive flair. It's bigger, bolder, but smarter, with stories that honor cultures, not exploit them, he enthused, crediting his diverse team. The audience hanging on every word, applauding the inclusivity push. Sarah gushed, sign me up. I need that adrenaline fix. Sunny highlighted representation wins. Latino leads like you changing the game. Alyssa chimed, and the family theme resonates universally. Kudos. The vibe lifted. A brief oasis. Vin's passion reigniting the star power that packed theaters. Yet Joy, perched like a gargoyle on commentary, shattered the serenity with surgical strike. Inclusive. Noble. But spare us the white knight routine. Your empire was built on typecasting minorities as sidekicks or villains, and now it's woke washing for PR points? Those global flavors? Just box office bait after the diversity dollars dried up. The barb buried deep, Vin's narrative derailed mid-rev. His expression hardened to granite, veins standing out on his neck as he gripped the table edge. Joy, that's not just wrong. It's willful ignorance. I've championed POC creators since day one, fought studios for authentic voices. Woke washing? Try waking up to facts before filming your takedowns. Whoopi exhaled audibly. Okay. Team, deep breaths. We're promoting unity here, but momentum snowballed. Joy pressed, unyielding. Facts? Your early scripts reeked of stereotypes. Gangbangers, exotic temptresses.